2023. Look at that for a coincidence. Maybe it's a divine appointment. All right, so we're going to back up a little bit and get the backstory. And so I want you to start with Mark chapter 11, verse 12. And when you guys find it, just yeah, Mark 11:12. Just when you guys find it, just wave, say I got it. You got it? Everybody got it? You're ready, set, go. Okay, on the morrow, when they were come from Bethany, he was hungry. And seeing a fig tree afar off having leaves, he came, and haply he might find anything thereon. And when he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for the time of figs was not yet. And Jesus answered and said unto it, No man eat fruit of thee hereafter forever. And his disciples heard it. That's the King James version. It's a little bit of a mouthful. And so, skipping ahead to verse 20, there's a little thing that happened in between there, but we'll get to that later. All right, so in the morning, as they passed by, they saw the fig tree dried up from the roots. And Peter, calling remembrance, saith unto him, Master, behold, the fig tree which thou cursest is withered away. And Jesus answering saith unto them, Have faith in God. Okay, now we get to the key verse. Mark 11:23. For verily I say unto you, that whosoever shall say unto this mountain, Be thou removed, and be thou cast into the sea, and shall not doubt in his heart, but shall believe those things which he saith shall come to pass, he shall have whatsoever he saith. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe ye that ye receive them, and ye shall have them. So, one of my favorite Gospels is the Gospel of John, okay, and that emphasizes the divinity of Christ. So I thought I would go a different direction with this, and we'll talk about the humanity of Christ, how he was a man. He was not just God, although he was fully God, he was also fully man. There's a highfalutin word for that. It's called the hypostatic union, but that's for another day. So, Jesus was hangry. He was already in a bad mood. He hadn't had breakfast. Maybe he hadn't had his morning coffee yet. He already knew what he was going to do when he got to Jerusalem. He had already fashioned a whip to drive out the money changers. He didn't fly off the handle when he threw the money changers out. He was driven by zealous, self-righteous anger. Now, he could be self-righteous because he was God. He was hoping that the fig tree in the distance would assuage his hunger. So when he got to the fig tree, his expectations were dashed. He was hangry. It wasn't even the time of year for figs, but he wanted figs. He shouted, Let no man eat of you ever again. And as soon as he got to the temple, he threw the money changers out. So, that was just an introduction. What I really want to talk about is answers to prayer. God can move mountains in your life. If it's a mountain, it's a God-sized job, and he gets the glory. He loves to do God-sized jobs where he gets the glory. He will move heaven and earth for you. He will make a way when there seems to be no way. That's just the kind of God he is. And I got two personal stories that I want to briefly go over with you of periods of time where God moved mountains in my life. One period of time is around the year 2003. And this is about the birth of a local radio station. There's a parable in the Bible about the unjust judge and a woman. The woman kept on coming to this judge again and again to see about a matter. And she kept on bugging him and bugging him and bugging him until finally he got weary of her coming and gave her the justice or the favor that she wanted. So I went through a period where I wanted a radio station for southeastern Connecticut. So I prayed and I prayed and I prayed and I prayed. I prayed for 10 years. Nothing happened. Sometimes I even prayed whiny prayers like, God, they got plenty of radio stations down south. They got radio stations by the score down south. How come we don't have a radio station in southeastern Connecticut? So finally, after volunteering for many years in audio video departments in different churches, I had a local pastor give me a call and say, hey, John, I'd like to do a radio station. You got any ideas? So I told him what we needed to do, and I told him where to find the information on how to do it. And so to make a long story short, we managed to get a low power FM station on the air, and the first day that signal went on air, it was just a small little 100 watt LPFM, and I was just rejoicing my head off when that day came. There's a verse in the Bible that says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when desire comes, it's a tree of life. So just when you think it's over, it's not over. All right, so the other incidents that I want to talk about briefly is in 2010, about a healing that I got from the Lord. In 2010, I came down with, it's called Guillain-Barré syndrome. I got the H1N1 vaccine shot, and I was vaccine injured. After 3 days of getting the shot, I couldn't walk. Then a week later, after getting the shot, I couldn't pick up a fork. So I was scared at first, at the beginning. But then I just recognized what it was, that it was coming from the enemy, so I simply claimed Isaiah 53:3. By his stripes I am healed. And I just continually claimed that. And also I recognized that it was coming from the enemy, so I also said that no weapon formed against me shall prosper. So both of those scriptures from Isaiah 53 became my mantras, or so to speak, or my motto, or a promise from God that I claimed. So I was standing on the promises of God during that time frame. And I also thank my wife for recognizing what was going on. She stood her ground. She diagnosed me very quickly, because the thing is, with GBS, you got to catch it quick. If you don't catch it quick, it's going to do a lot of severe damage. So she immediately recognized what was really going on. She stood against the doctor. She did not allow them to try to tell her that, oh no, it's not GBS, it's this, and oh no, it's not a vaccine injury. She stuck to her guns, and she got the help that I needed. So they put me on antibiotics, and we took the right course of action in that. So to conclude, I just stood on God's promises, like cashing checks. When you bring a check to the bank, you fully expect the bank to honor it. God always honors his word. He says, my word shall not return void, but he shall perform it. And I just want to leave you with one more psalm, a quote from the Psalms. Tears may last the night, but joy comes in the morning.